Okay, so this is how to rig a group abseil setup. It's very, very similar to the other video we did on top rope, top belaying. Do exactly the same scenario. Choose our anchors. We've got the tree back there, sling, another sling. Link that one in, started with the other end of the rope. So now we've got these two strands coming down. And before, we just brought all these together and we made these two strands equal length. This time, when we're rigging a group abseil, we want those two strands to be offset from each other. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Think about our direction of load. We're going to tie the knot there because I want it nice and high, but one of these strands I'm just going to make longer. So if I move that there, maybe a little bit longer, okay? So I've got the same thing, yeah, coming in. I'm going to tie my figure of 8. That's one strand, that's the short one. This is the long one coming in. Okay, so now I've got a short one and I've got a long one. The short one is going to be where my abseil rope is going to be fixed to. So I'm going to throw my abseil rope down the crag, make sure it's touching the floor, so it is there, and I'm going to do a locked off Italian hitch. Make sure it's in the downward position, not the upward position. So it's in the downward position, and then we're going to lock it off. So we're going to do what we call a slippery hitch. Bed it all in. So that's the slippery hitch. Then we do one half hitch to secure it. And another one. And then I generally leave that tail end loose. I don't clip that back in because if that gets awkward at the point where we need to release it, we want it free. But we've got a slippery hitch, 2 half hitches. So that's the abseil rope ready to go. If I wanted to set that up ready for the abseiler, I've got my figure of 8 descender. I'm going to thread that through for a right-handed abseiler. That's ready to go for that. So what's the other strand for? Well, the other strand is where we're going to put our safety rope in with our Italian hitch in. So to operate this now, I'm going to take myself off my safety here, pop myself quickly into there, and I'm going to get down here so I can be alongside my abseiler as they start to go off. I need to attach my abseiler onto the end of here. So on the end of the rope that's going to go to the abseiler, the safety rope, I'm going to tie a figure of 8 with just a slightly longer loop. Make sure it's really dressed. And I'm definitely going to put a stopper knot in here because this gets moved around a lot. Pull that nice and snug. And that goes in here. And in a minute, you'll see why I make that loop ever so slightly longer. So I'm going to operate this safety rope here to keep the abseiler safe, or if they have any issues as they abseil, get anything caught in this device or they let go, then we have complete control over them with our safety rope. So we're going to just run through getting an abseiler onto the abseil rope and solving any problems. So first off, we'll make sure our abseiler have got the hair tied back, any tassels and toggles on their coats and things that might get caught. Prevention is always the key. We're going to make sure we don't cause any problems by doing that. So prevention. Abseiler, catch this rope here, and if you clip that into your harness for me and screw it up and just show me a squeeze test. Lovely. So always make sure the abseiler is on the rope before they come near the edge. Okay, can you climb down here for me? There you go. And are you right-handed? So step over the rope for me. Fantastic. So at this point, I'm going to keep hold of this dynamic safety rope. I need to keep the abseiler safe. So we're going to get the abseiler to grab hold of that device. And when they clip it to their harness, we always want to have the safety rope at the top. So get them to bring the abseil rope below. That's it. They can shuffle it down a little bit. Brilliant. Okay, so, and here abseil before, so we're just going to get her to hold on to those 2 ropes there. That's it. Hold tight, and if you lean back, that's it. And just stop there for a second. So as they abseil down, I'm backing them up. I'm not lowering them off. This rope is purely for safety. I want them to experience what it feels like to hold the rope and have control. So this Italian hitch here, I'm not holding it really, really tight. I'm just relaxed and holding it there. And you can see the reason for having this knot now a little bit longer. These strands here on this figure of 8 aren't rubbing against this knot here. They're all out in space. Okay, and I go ahead and you can abseil down. So again, these are all sitting in space. This knot is not ramming on these rocks, and this one here is just far enough forward to be in front of these rocks here. So just go down a little bit more there, please. So what problems might happen? Well, if Anna were to get something caught in the abseil device now, it would get sucked in. Maybe it's her hair or anything like that. The simplest way of solving this problem would be to see if the climber can get back on, the abseiler can get back onto the rock. So if I just say, well, can you climb back up? And I'll see if I can pull her rope in as she climbs up. And maybe if she does that, there we go. And I can hold her nice and tight on this rope. That's it. So now we can see that the abseil device has come loose, and if there was anything caught in there, we could release that out. So have you got that clear there? Fantastic. We'll just pull that snug. I can lower you back down onto there. Give the abseiler a moment just to pull themselves through. That's it. And then lean back. I'll give you a bit more rope there to get in control. Lovely. Okay, so if you carry your abseil down, great. Now, let's just run through the worst case scenario. Let's imagine now the abseiler has got their hair really, really caught into their abseil device. Maybe they're long haired, you didn't tie it back or shove it down their jumper, and they've got that caught. And as they carry on abseiling, it's going to get more and more and more pulled into the abseil device. So it may be that we need to fully release the abseil rope. So we're going to do this quite quickly if we're doing it for real, because they'd have their hair caught and it would be quite painful. But I'll just do it quite gently and slowly for you first. We always need to maintain really good grip on this rope. So I'm going to hold this tight with my hand. And to lock this off, I'm going to go bite round and pull that up so it comes tight. I've kept a hand here when I left go there. So that's a slippery hitch. And I've got about ½ meter of rope. I'm going to do a bit more. One lock off and the second lock off. So that now is super, super secure. I can afford to let go of that now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the abseil rope to get all that stuff that's stuck onto that rope out. So I undo the first half hitch, undo the second half hitch, then I release the slippery hitch and I push through slack. So now all the abseiler's weight is hanging on this safety rope. And if there was anything caught in that rope, the hair, then that's released. So now, having done that quite quickly, I can look down at my abseiler and go, don't worry, we solved the problem. We'll just get you back into control, ready for abseiling. So now I'm going to pull this back through and then make sure it's downloaded. And I'm going to re-lock this off. So, slippery hitch. One half hitch. Second half hitch. All bedded in, out the way, load it up. Okay, that's ready. Okay, so we've just relocked that off, and now we've got to do is get the abseiler back onto their rope. Sometimes they'll pull it through for you, which is super helpful, but we're going to lower them back into control. So abseiler, do you want to hold on to your white static rope for me there? And I'm just going to get you back into control. Okay, so here now, I've undone the two half hitches and I need to maintain grip here. I'm going to hold both these strands and I'm going to gently pull one of them and I'm going to hold the one that's not moving all the way till I'm nearly ready for it to come through. So at this point, that's my brake hand. I'm now going to get hold of the tail hand, and with both hands I'm going to warm the abseil, a little jolt. I'm going to pull this nice and quickly so that I'm in control. If I do it slowly, it'll start to slip and not be very nice. So now I just tell my abseiler, hold on tight, abseiler, here we go. Hold tight, hold tight. Lovely, you're back in control now and you can abseil down. Great, and they're down at the bottom and then they can release off the end of the abseil.